Now, how on earth are you going to get an appropriate price for electricity when Labor and many people in the Liberal Party want to force coal-fired power out of the system, that is, reduce the availability of energy? That surely can only have one consequence: jack up the price.
Yes, exactly, Alan. And this is, this is the end of a decade-long campaign orchestrated by the Green movement around the world, deliberately to target coal and get it out of the system. And we're now at a point where it's very hard to get any financing for coal mines, let alone coal-fired power stations. Yes. They are succeeding in their aim. I mean, I'd love to see efficient coal installed in this country.
A HELE coal-fired power station.
A HELE coal-fired power station in Queensland, where Matt Canavan's talking about it. It's fantastic, but you've got to get a state government.
And there's 325 of them around the world.
Yeah.
They're doing it in Vietnam, South Korea, in India and so on. Bjorn Lomborg, as you know, and my viewers know, widely internationally respected, not a climate denier, but he said only this week, the climate policy approach of trying to push consumers and businesses away from fossil fuels with price spikes is causing pain with little climate payoff. He said, and solar and wind are still only capable of meeting a fraction of global electricity needs. Now, Nick, we've seen massive taxpayer subsidies and political support for renewables all around the world, but in 2020, as Bjorn Lomborg says, solar and wind delivered 9% of global electricity. When are Albanese and Bowen going to tell the nation this?
Yeah, and if you want to put more renewables in the system, well, you're going to have to substantially increase the strength of the grid and the connections around the country, and you're going to have to put in backup. You're going to have to put in things like snowy hydro, which is going ahead, as you know. Okay, fine, but who pays for that?
But we don't have transmission lines to get renewables from A to B into the grid. I mean, where is the business case, Nick, for 43%? A case which will tell us, well, what price will the economy pay? What price will individuals pay to get to this destination? There is no business case.
No, it's dreaming, Alan. It's market dreaming. They've looked at this and they've modelled it and they said the market's going to behave in this way. We know the market never goes according to those plans. That's why coal is disappearing out of the system much more rapidly than anybody was predicting 5 years ago, and why we've got this acute crisis building now. We know that gas has not come onto the market as quickly as we wanted. The Narrabri project, for instance, now pushed back to 2026. We've got proposals to bring in gas in the Illawarra in a new terminal. Well, they haven't even got approval for that yet. Everything gets pushed into the different distance. And they seem to be working on this ideal world, almost a sort of utopian formula. Yeah. Well, the world doesn't work like that. No. In the end, we have to do things in practical ways, and ways that make sense.
I mean, just so that our viewers understand, it's a simple story. Labor says must transition tomorrow to renewables. Get rid of the rest. Now, there is no understanding of the massive problems of transitioning to renewables too quickly, if indeed that were ever possible, Nick.
Yeah, and look, I just don't think they're being honest with the public, Alan.
No.
They're trying to make out they have a perfect answer to a very easy question. It's not. It's a very complex question. It needs some honesty. It needs some discussion. It really needs a discussion, I think, about gas, and to say, well, look, gas will be part of our system for a long time to come.
Which is a fossil fuel.
Exactly. But it's lower emissions than coal, and if you're using it to back up renewables rather than running it all the time.
But why can't we have a high efficiency, low emission coal-fired power stations? There's 325 being built around the world to take advantage of what's under our feet. Look, we're always running out of time, Nick, and I know you'll cover these things when you come onto the program here, but one final question. Why do you think the coalition has not, to this point, sought to separate themselves from this Labor nonsense?
Well, I think we'll see this in the parliamentary debate. I think they'll be forced to. But you know, we know the problems in the Liberal Party, that they've been playing to two separate constituencies.
Yes.
This inner city constituency who really are, you know, quite well off. They don't care too much. They're not too bothered about increases in energy prices and so forth, and they can have these luxury policies, if you like. And then the rest of the country, where these things actually count, where it means jobs, it means wages, it means keeping the lights on.
They'll pay for it.
Yeah.
They'll pay for it.